Hello, anyone. I'm CW. I'm from the books, travels, history, and tales. Almost every morning, I get up and I get these news briefs and intelligence reports and travel warnings from the State Department. These are not top secret or most secret, and the majority are available to the public but most of the public would rather read comics or read their Instagram with their morning coffee. But this morning's kind of alerting. The United States has almost one-third of its naval forces deployed in and around the Persian Gulf and the Mediterranean Sea near the Middle East. This should be concerning to you. These groups include the aircraft groups, the USS Theodore Roosevelt and the USS Abraham Lincoln. However, just released on September 11th, the Theodore Roosevelt is heading back to San Diego, perhaps. The USS Dwight D. Eisenhower has since returned from the Red Sea, in which it curtailed the Iranian-backed Houthis of Yemen and kind of in the area an event to aid Israel should an event of an all-out attack occur. The current global situation with Russia, Iran, Israel, Hezbollah, and Hamas is getting more complicated and concerning, hinting at all possibly a larger conflict. Recent events show rising tensions in these groups engaged in military actions and probably making strategic moves now, even as we speak. We should probably look at, take the parties apart. Iran's role is based on a report from the Institute for the Study of War, highlights that Iran's activities are disturbing and very much destabilizing the region. It threatens U.S. forces. Iran seems to be preparing for a long conflict with Israel, aiming to stop Israeli military operations in Lebanon. And you can read more about this in their update. It's ISW. It's available to you on the web. The conflict with the Israelis and Hezbollah that continues. The tensions are spiked due to the attacks from Hezbollah, who are supporting Hamas. This led to intense fighting between the Israelis and those parties involved in Lebanon, causing UN forces to find themselves in a tricky position between the two. For more details, again, check out the United Nations call between Israel and Hamas. This is a growing issue. Israel is not going to sit quietly beside itself and let its people be killed. Their military actions in response to the development are targeting groups linked to Iran, especially even if they're in Syria. Their goal is to disrupt the Iranian military operations in this area. The analysis on this is a long military strategy, and this too can be found online. The casualties and the concerns as far as humanitarian go. The violence between the Israelis and Hamas is resulting in many casualties, military and civilians, both sides. Recently, reports stated that 64 Palestinians were killed in one day due to Israeli strikes, highlighting a dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. For ongoing updates, again, I don't really like to get them, but sometimes you can get a different feed from Al Jazeera. Um, grain of salt with that report. The uncertainty, the area is certainly tense. Um, you've seen, you know, college students, in their 30s, wink, wink, who protest against the Israelis for their conditions the way they are against the Palestinians. First of all, college students, go ahead and take a break, read a book, and know that there is no such race as Palestinians. Palestine is a region. It was first named by the Romans in the first century. Palestine is home for Muslims, Jews, and Christians, although Christians and Jews find it very hard to live there because of the growing conflict against them. Sorry, it's just numbers. The uncertainty in the future, while the situation is tense, there's going to be a lot of military operations, some stealth and covert. You're not going to know about it. The Israelis, the IDF, tend not to go into secret operations or explain them or anything like that. But they do have kind of an approach for revenge. This is their history. Their secret service is the same way, the Mossad. But I doubt if the conflict will lead to a great war or a World War III. There is certainly the possibilities. Also, taking fact that the Israelis launched, I believe, a raid September 8th in Syria to destroy an Iranian backed missile factory. Can't say that I blame them. It was probably a factory producing advanced targeting instruments. And the airstrikes will hopefully cut off any more reinforcements before their next launch. Currently, Russia's position on this, Russia is trying to maintain good relations with both Iran and the Gulf states. They recently discussed a dispute with Iran over a couple of islands they claimed, but were supported by the United Arab Emirates. Russia's stance is kind of complicated and it varies on its political needs there. Then there's the stability of Russia itself. With its Ukraine invasion now going on, what, second, third year? An operation that should have been done within 60 days by some spokesman. They watched their land army fall apart and get repelled, basically, by a National Guard. So there's a lot of pressures on Putin, but I don't foresee him being tossed from power. You know, it's long past that he's the prime minister or premier or president of Russia. Influencing his regime, discussions have been rising about a lot of discontent within the military leagues and the ranks, especially with moving, gathering up draftees for this service with the ongoing war with Ukraine. Some reports suggest that soldiers think they're being treated poorly by the Russian Federation, by their own leadership, as far as like food, health, clothing, shoes, boots, no bullets. This almost sounds like the bad parts of World War II. To consolidate power and assess military strength right now, Russia started a massive naval uh, coordination with China and air drills, hopefully to take off the the shame of the invasion of Ukraine and and Ukraine's invasion of Russia, trying to show the United States that don't try to outgun us. So their operation is going, as far as the Arctic to the Sea of Japan. Putin has been vocal about the threats of the West And he's really upset about the assistance that they have given the Ukraine. What really upsets him is the active stance that NATO is starting to take. So, but internally, uh, on the ground, public sentiment with Putin is kind of complex. Yeah, a lot of people aren't too happy about their economic issues, and they're not too terribly fond of getting limited supplies from international, like Germany not getting many things from Japan, United States, because of isolationism, and they're remembering this. I don't mean to worry you, but I want you to be concerned about this situation. This is far from being October 1962 when you and your dad go out and dig a air raid shelter in your backyard. There's still more of a chance that there is a nuclear strike somewhere else than here. Maybe in India, maybe in Pakistan, maybe in eastern Russia. I don't know. The president of the Ukraine used to be a stand up comedian once. Maybe that would be a joke. God, I hope not. In any case, I'm not laughing. You need to watch your politicians now. Don't allow them, the ones that are in office, to wag the dog. Try to show something else that's not important and slide something else underneath you. Well, this is not my usual content. I'm sorry, but I got a couple of weird emails and a couple of news briefs that were really disturbing. If you like this content, this one's free. If you want another one, you're gonna have to subscribe. Oh, come on. It doesn't take much. Click a like. That's good too. Or a dislike. But if you're gonna dislike me, you have to write a comment and tell me why. I read everything. Of course, I've only gotten like a half a dozen comments, but I like them. Like I said, that story I just went over, boy, I hope this doesn't become history. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, when we can talk about today. See ya. Remember to subscribe.